I'm Candace Harris from Board Game Geek. I'm here with Jason from Talon Strike Studios, and we're taking a look at Camp Pinetop. Hi, Jason. How's it going today?
Hey, how you doing? I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So Camp Pinetop, this looks pretty interesting. And it looks summer campy. Can you tell me, or tell us a little bit about it and how it works?
Sure, I would love to. Camp Pine Top was designed by Stephen B. Davies and developed with Eric, my partner in Talent Strike Studios. A little fact is Stephen also did all the illustrations in the game as well. So the designer did the illustrations. And that
Very
really
cool.
sold a lot of things for how the game is. But basically, it takes place at like a summer camp, like you would remember being a child or a teenager at a summer camp. And it really has
Hmm.
that feeling to it. The idea of the game is to advance from the lowest rank all the way up to the highest rank. So you start as a possum and you move to becoming a badger. Um, you do that. Yeah, I told you, it's very thematic. You do that through um, moving around the
Cool.
camp and doing things. There you go. There's the player board.
The-
So you are a
Look
member
at the
of a
little
troop.
possum.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then you start at that rank and you move down as you acquire achievements. So much like let's say in the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts or the Bluebirds, or there's several groups like that for young children,
Okay.
where you show prowess in something or that you have the ability to do something through a
Sure.
task. And then when you complete that task, you get a patch. And then that
Oh,
patch
cool.
would be sewn on your sash or a vest. Some of those types they have a vest as well. So we kind of wanted to follow that um, monicum with this game. So as you move around the camp, you have multiple campers. You start with one on the board, and you have other ways to deploy more than one camper. But
Okay.
as your campers move around the board, they are able to claim um, those achievements, and by claiming the achievement, like they just showed, I think the Lincoln just showed that, but the patch goes down over the sash, and
Okay.
then
Yeah.
you actually
Cool.
gain that ability for the remainder of the game, and then you have a way to advance it. If you flip it, it will turn to an advanced side, and it has a
Oh,
little arrow, and then the big power becomes a little better. Um, and
gotcha.
that's all part of how you promote. So you start with no patches as a
Hmm.
possum, and you have 8 cards in your hand. And as you advance and you acquire achievement patches, your hand size shrinks, and
Oh,
you yeah, so it makes it tougher, and you continue
yeah. Makes
to
sense.
move through collecting. So at the bottom of the map card, which are the square cards out in the grid, um,
Hmm.
they have a needed uh, recipe, I guess, or cards that you need to have. So, for instance, he has
Gotcha.
Stormy Peak showing here. And if you wanted to acquire, let's say, the woodcutter, which is the bottom one there, the little hatchet symbol. Okay, so when I enter Stormy Peak, I must cross over the patch that I want. So there are
Mm.
strategic moves that you must make with your camper. So as I enter that, I have to
Oh,
cross over the patch I want. So my scout crosses over the patch into the center, and now I can buy or earn wood chopping or woodcutter. Then I would pay one woodcutter and 3 hiking sticks, and those would be the
okay.
cards that he showed earlier. Okay, and then I discard those cards that match. There you
Okay.
go. It'd be one hatchet and then 3 of the hiking cards. And then I would earn the wood cutting patch. So I would take that patch and sew it onto my sash, and it's a diamond, so it's going to be in the bottom.
Okay.
So we have the sash broken up into areas. You have circles, squares, and diamonds for the
Okay,
patches. So
nice.
it's very simple and very identifiable as to where that is located. And then on the player mat right in front of you, it tells you what is needed to promote. So in order to move
Okay.
from possum to skunk,
Possum.
you would need two of any kind, and there's white lines that delineate
Oh,
different
I
groups. And
see.
yes,
It gets
so
harder and
to
harder.
become a skunk, yes, I only need two green circles or two blue squares or two gray diamonds. And then my hand
Gotcha.
size would go from 8 to 7. Now, to become a woodchuck from a skunk, I can build on that. So I can continue to stay in that same lane where it has
Right.
two, or I can
Yeah.
switch lanes if that's what I was able to acquire. And I must have one advanced, that's what the arrow signifies next to the hand size.
Oh, so you
So
have to
I'm
have one
going to
flipped
have
over.
to,
Gotcha.
yes. And in order to advance to an advanced, you have to flip the same one. So I would have to earn one twice, 2 times.
Oh,
And then as
wow.
I,
Okay.
yes, and as I continue
And then you
that,
have it
then
flipped.
you need
Okay.
more and more. Right.
And
So
and then to go to a
you,
raccoon, you need two advance. Okay, cool.
yes. And you really have to consider tactically where you are within the map, because you can only earn the patch by crossing over it. So if I enter the map card from the top,
Mhm.
then I'm crossing over the top patch, and that's the one I can earn. So
Gotcha.
it that map tile may have the one I need, but my scout may be in the wrong place, and I'm going to have to move him around to get him or
Ah,
her to come onto the through the top. So it's very technical that way in how you maneuver your
yeah.
scout or
Around the
camper
board.
rather around the board. So
And
it's really neat. But
Jason,
yes, go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna ask, are the map cards placed randomly, or are they kind of static, the same ones in the same position every game?
No, they're not. There are 32 of them in the box, and you only
Oh,
use that's set up for a 4 player. In a 3 to 2 player, you use less. So you actually shrink the
okay,
field down some
gotcha.
as so you would have a little bit tighter movement. But in the four
Okay,
or
gotcha.
five players, you would use this size of a grid. And the only caveat is you have to have one of the 4 interior cards. So if you look at it and kind of think of an outer and an inner, the 4 interior
Mhm.
cards has to be a blue one. And how you would know that is by the tent in the bottom right corner. There's green tents, gray tents,
Ah,
and blue tents. And that is
gotcha,
how you
gotcha.
deploy your second, third, or fourth camper. So there's only 4 things you can do on a turn, which is awesome, because even though there's all these tactical things, how you're moving, it's very simple in that respect as to you can either draw 2 cards up to your hand limit. You can
Okay,
continue to do that until you reach your maximum. You can move one map card and draw one. So if you have a achievement you're searching for, like let's say you're up in the middle of the map quadrant and you're trying to get down to the bottom, then you would just move one map tile, and you can only move up or down or left or right. You cannot move diagonal, but you would move
okay.
down one card, and then you would well, not the card, the actual player.
Oh, you
There you
just
go.
moved the camper. Okay.
Yes, there you go. So the you would move to the next one down, and you could draw a card. So that would be one action. So draw 2 and stay put. Move down 1 and draw 1. You may pay 2 cards from your hand of matching tents. So looking at your cards, there's a little tent symbol underneath the symbol as well. He's going to show you here. So this has they're see-through because the green screen, but that's hilarious. So, but you want the two tents to match. That's all. There you go. So two
Okay,
gray
gotcha,
tents,
gotcha.
and you could place a new camper on any map card with a gray tent anywhere in the board.
Oh,
So now you would
okay.
have two of your campers out,
Campers,
and that would be awesome because now you have exponentially
more
increased.
options.
You
Yeah,
got it. And up to four. So
cool.
that's your third action. And the fourth action is to acquire a skill. So you just do that by moving onto the card. The patch you cross over, you can earn by paying the necessary resources from your hand that are located in the bottom of the card. That's
Okay,
really it in a nutshell. You do pay a card
cool.
to somebody else if there's a person on a map card and you move on to that card where they are already
Oh,
occupying.
okay.
You give them a card from your hand. Um, so that's a very interesting way that if you position yourself and you don't want to waste actions drawing cards, I've
Right.
watched players successfully use that repeatedly to continue to get
Yeah.
cards so
Go where they know
they don't
people
have
are
to go
gonna
back.
go and
Correct.
and get
Correct.
paid from
You
that.
got it.
Oh,
And you can
cool.
see what someone else is working towards as well. So it's very neat that way. So that's the
Yeah.
base of the game. And then the only other thing are the small cards on the perimeter. So if you look at the little tiny mini cards, yes. So those are mastery cards. And on them are four patches. You have, let's say on that one, S'mores Festival has three blues and one diamond. You have the Frontier Mastery, Basics Mastery, and Cookie Seller. So there are a number of these in the game, and you only use four. And when you complete the task, you can immediately take your little colored disc with the paw print on it and stick it on one of those. And that
Hmm.
signifies that you earned that badge, and it's now first come, first serve, and gone from that mastery. So if you'll
Mm.
notice the way it is, there's always one from an upper tier. So the green circles are the lowest tier, the blues are the middle tier, and then the gray diamonds are the high end tier for the patches because the gray ones take more resources to earn, and the green ones only take two. So
Gotcha.
there's some weight in how the pat what the patch is needed to acquire. So and these
Nice.
are set out there, and anybody at any time can acquire that, can work towards that. And they have lots of different things, like you have to have multiple guys on or gals on one map card or all in a row, or you have to complete a certain number of patches, or be the last person to that thing with only one camper. I mean, there's a lot of different achievements there, but they're fun and they make the game different each time. Plus, the map is set up randomly, with the exception of making sure you have one blue tent in the inner. And then there are powers that move those around. So you can
Ooh.
move an entire area of a map card from anywhere you wish to another place with the campers on that. So you can, if you see somebody's moving, you can acquire that and then move them down to a different area. So
Wow.
they're asymmetrical in that respect. Now everybody's are the same, but you never in I don't know. I've probably played this game, I would say, close to 100 times through our iteration of playing and everything and
Right.
online. And I've never seen the same game twice. It's you just have there's everybody has the same power, but how you acquire them and how you use them really makes a difference in the game.
Yeah, it seems like there is a ton of variation in this. And it's really it's different. And I like that you can interact with the map a bit, and there's some player interaction, and the whole thing with you have to give someone else a card. Um when they land on a
Right.
spot you already are, because it gives you some strategic positioning options.
It does. It very much does. So that's the base game. So we have something else that is also very neat. On the back side of all the player cards is a solo story. So it starts
Oh,
with one scenario and it moves all the way through at 8 scenarios. And there is a special book that comes with it. You have the manual, which has the rules, but then now he's showing the camp. Welcome to Camp Pinetop, and this is the solo experience. It comes in its own book
cool.
with its own story, and it has its own stuff. So each scenario is set up differently. There are 4 new achievements introduced in the solo version. They have a gray background rather than a green one. It's there left of his hand there. There you go. So these have a gray sash instead of a green sash, and they do a little bit of things a tad differently in the solo version than they do in the base version. You also have these cool expert patches you can win when you complete
Mhm.
the solo scenario as it advises you to complete it. There you go. So he's showing those now. So when you and inside that manual it tells you how to set it up, and it says if you can do it with this many cards left over, because that's the hook in each of these games. We're limited in our resources, and you must utilize those in how you move on the map. And
Gotcha.
it's all intertwined with a story. There's the expert mode there. So you would earn that patch as through the expert mode, and then that gives you a one-time use power in the next scenario that you would play. So,
Very cool.
and on the back side of it, it has a little, the back side of the patch, rather, the patch token, it has a little icon that kind of shows you what it is. And then within the manual, we explain what all those are. But it's intertwined. There you go. It's intertwined with a story about Jimmy going to camp, and he writes in his journal to his mom and dad every day.
Okay.
And he tells the story of him being at camp. Like, when I was a kid and went to camp,
Wow.
they made us write a postcard home to our parents, you know. I mean, you're only there like 4 days or 5 days, but no, you know, that was one of the neat things we did. Was so it really made us think as a development team what would be really fun. And then we utilize the backside of the player boards to show all the, and you just go through 1 to 8, and there's some interaction stuff with tokens. We reuse the same pieces and those things on the player boards and those things. So there's a solo experience that is completely different from the main game in there, and that has been very well received and got a very good rating from the Dice Tower for the solo play. They really enjoyed that.
Awesome.
Um, yeah, it was cool. Along with that, we have 2 expansions. We have one that's called the Nature expansion, and it introduces animals. So it has weather and it has animals, and you can do that with a weather token that moves around the outside of the map. And then there's animal tokens that were punch out tokens, and there's a little programming card that you flip when you see a tower card coming, and then that tells you what is happening weather-wise at your camp, and then where the animals are moving. And you just pick 3 animals to play with, and there's a bear and an eagle that are always there. And then you can also have a fish, an elk, an otter, and they
Cool.
move around, and they just require you to discard an extra card. So they make it a little tougher on you. And the weather kind of does that as well. And then the other expansion, you can see the 3D tower. There's like a ranger tower that's there, and you're going to set that
Oh
up
yeah.
on a specific row, and then that has an ability when you're moving towards it, you can get a special power, or when you're moving away from it. So that's neat. That
Cool.
just stand. It's a really cool piece. It just stands up, and it looks like a ranger tower. It's very fun. And then you have the double cards that he just showed a moment ago. So they have you can use that as a double card. So there's 10 of those that get put into the deck. So you can get two things off of a single card. So it enhances the
Gotcha.
play. And you can play them all together or you can play them separate. And it really puts a change up on the game as you're playing, like most expansions to games do. They make it really fun. But there is a ton of game in one box. And we
Yeah.
really wanted to give players that experience, not only just for their family play, but solo gaming has come so
So,
far in 2 years, that you got to include that for your people
oh
that
yeah.
back your projects and follow your company, and this is a great experience. It was so much fun. We have a lot of people on the forums on BGG, oh, I didn't get it yet. Did you get this? Oh, yeah, I made that one. And they're talking about the patches. One other thing I would like to mention is, because of COVID and some of the things that we dealt with for that, we were fortunate we delivered just a little bit ahead of schedule, but we offered a friendship patch, and that was placed in there as well. And it's a little handshake. And so this is a special power that you can use when you're playing. Every person can earn just one, but when you go to another person's map card, you pay them the card, but then you can earn a friendship token because you were
Ooh.
friends and you shared a map card. And then later on in the game, you can spend it for a one-time use to use somebody else's power as a friendship, show of
Nice,
friendship.
nice.
So yeah, we thought that
Awesome.
was really a neat thing, and that wasn't a stretch goal. We just added it due to the pandemic and some of the added times it took, and just
Sure.
so much negative stuff, and we wanted to have something really positive to add to it.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea, Jason. So I know you were saying the anybody who backed this on Kickstarter is starting to receive and or already received their copies. Is Camp Pinetop available for retail or going to be available for retail or any late backers or
Oh
how
yes,
can
it
people get?
will. So it will go to, the street date is, I think, November 1. So currently, we're hoping brick and mortar and things like that are placing their orders right now for that, through our folks that do that for us. And then it will also be available on our website. So any of the expansions, they won't go to retail. They will be available off the talonstrikes.games website. But the actual game itself will have, it's open for anybody to do that. And if somebody goes to their local game store and it's not available, they can just ask them, hey, can you, talk to Hit Point Sales and see if we can get this game in. But there's plenty of games to be had that way, and on our website, both of the expansions will be available as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it looks like plenty of variety there, even, and especially with the addition of the expansions. And I love the theme. Everybody, like I used to watch Salute Your Shorts. I love that summer camp
Yeah.
theme that you guys had and the patches. I used to be a Girl Scout also, so
Oh,
I can
wow,
I
that's
can
cool.
totally
Yeah,
appreciate
we
that you guys put that in there.
Yeah, we have lots of stuff, and there's references to all that. So we wanted to make it very family friendly. So we have, like Cookie Seller is one of the achievements you can get on the mastery. So we really went through that and wanted to make it inclusive in that way. I think it would have been very easy just to, plow through and not really give that a thought. But through
Right.
development and whatnot, we really tried to hit those marks. And Stephen did a great job with the illustrations, to show that, and to have that whimsical look to it. And that has been
Right.
very well accepted. So we're super pleased with that. We're already talking, and we have some preliminary stuff on the board for maybe coming back within a certain amount of time and releasing another solo experience, because
Ooh,
that has been very well received as something we would like to support, to
very
continue to
cool.
roll through with this game, because it's really it's a unique thing. It's not a lot of games get to do that. You it's I don't want to say it's like a legacy solo experience, because it's not, but it has that feeling, because you do move through the experiences and you collect the solo patches that you can use as you move through. So by the time you get
That's
to
cool.
8, you have 7 solo abilities you gained, and then you can use those in that final scenario, as you move through. So it's very neat that way. But we're
Awesome.
super pleased with it, and it came out great. The quality of the stuff it was in it was very good that way. The card stock, and there's linen finish on the cards. We made a 2 millimeter box, so it's real sturdy. We were able
Awesome.
to do some things that way with our backers that made it a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jason, and showing us Camp Pinetop from Talon Strike Studios. It's great to meet
Yes,
you.
thank you so much for having us. It's great to be here. I appreciate it.